Hello there friends, it's Ashley here from the Loopy Lamb and theloopylamb.com, and thanks so much for stopping by the channel. More Crochet Iconic Women by Carla Mitrani is finally here, and I'm so excited to finally dig into the second installment of the Crochet Iconic Women series. Today I'll be sharing my in-depth review of More Crochet Iconic Women, and I'm giving away a copy of this book to one lucky winner, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out how you can enter to win. I previously had the honor of reviewing Carla's first book in the series Crochet Iconic Women, and it was one of my favorite amigurumi pattern books of that year, and it's still, to this day, one of my all-time favorite amigurumi books. The first book was filled with inspirational women, and I had really hoped that there would be a second book. My hopes came true, and I was sent this book not too long ago to check out. Now that the second installment of Crochet Patterns for Amigurumi Dolls of Iconic Women is here, I can't wait to dig in and share it with you. This pattern book includes the patterns for 15 women who have all changed the world in some respect. The ladies you'll find in this book are Josephine Baker, Anne Frank, Wangari Maathai, Joan of Arc, Dolly Parton, Queen Elizabeth I, Ella Fitzgerald, Helen Keller, Grace Hopper, Mary Shelley, Misty Copeland, Hypatia of Alexandria, Diana, Princess of Wales, Harriet Tubman, and Ada Lovelace. The patterns in this book are written using the U.S. terminology, and a U.S. to U.K. terminology conversion section can be found on page 8. I found the patterns to be clearly written and easy to follow, and at the beginning of each pattern is a lovely intro sharing a bit of what makes each woman in the book iconic, and I really loved it. Having a young daughter myself and introducing her to some of these ladies in a fun and crafty way has led us to more questions and more research into the women in this book. It's also served as a fun activity to do together, as well as educating my daughter about these different women that have had these huge impacts in the world. And I really love that this book can be a tool for that in so many amazing ways. With so many incredible women included in this book, it was really hard to choose a favorite. I personally loved the Mary Shelley doll. Let me see if I can find it for you here. There's Wangari Maathai. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name correctly. So Ella Fitzgerald. I have always been a big fan of her music, so I was very excited to see her included in this book. I will absolutely be making this doll for myself. And the Mary Shelley doll, which I believe, did I pass her? Oh, there it is. And the Mary Shelley doll comes with this mini Frankenstein. How stinking cute is that? I just love that. All the dolls in this book are just beautiful, but these were just two of my favorites. I like that in the beginning of each pattern, the exact yarn colors that are used are included. So that way you can make your doll exactly the same as you see in the book. But to find out what yarn brand it is that's used, you're going to need to check out the yarn information section that's located on page 8 of the book. I've listed the information over on my blog with links to the sites where you can buy the yarn over in the written version of this review on theloopylamb.com. Now, the toys in this book are listed as being approximately 7.5 to 8.75 inches tall, depending on the toy. However, there's no gauge information in the book to ensure makers have the tools that they need in order for the toys to turn out to be that size. Now, if you don't care what size your toys turn out and you don't mind doing a bit of troubleshooting, this is not a deal breaker and it's not really a huge deal. But the one thing with these dolls like this, and I know this because I'm a doll designer myself, is that all of these dolls have what is called a wig cap or a hair cap. And that means that this hair piece is a separate piece that needs to fit onto the doll. Now, anytime you have pieces that need to fit onto each other, you need to make sure that your tension or your gauge is maintained throughout the toy and that there are no changes. If you're making one of these dolls and you're finding that one of the pieces isn't fitting, it could mean that your tension or your gauge has changed somewhere in the pattern and you may need to rip that piece out to try it again. Now, this is something that I wish there was a note about to help makers avoid this frustration, or at the very least, what to do to fix it. If there was something in there, I must have missed it, but I did read this book cover to cover and didn't see this noted anywhere. The tools and materials for the patterns are listed on my blog, but I will let you know that they do require using a smaller sized hook. If you're looking at using a 2 to 2.5 millimeter, and for the US sizes, I think that's B for the 2 millimeter and C for the 2.5 millimeter. The patterns use a DK weight yarn and also fingering weight yarn. I find those materials not to be very beginner friendly, but that's not a huge deal either because you can make these patterns using a bigger hook and heavier weight yarn. I always recommend for beginners or just folks that don't want to use hooks that small that you use a worsted weight yarn with a 3.5 millimeter hook. As long as you don't have holes in your fabric while you're crocheting with your hook and yarn combination of choice, you should be good to go. You can find a listing of all the other special materials for these toys on my blog, theloopylamb.com, or you can find them listed in the beginning of this book as well. On pages 8 and 9, you'll find instructions for the stitches that are used in the book, but the main section where you'll find most of the actual support for makers in the book starts on page 102 and runs through to 114. This is the technique section where it's home to a combination of stitch tutorials and technique tutorials. I've broken that out as a list of available resources in the book over in the written version of this review if you're interested in checking that out. Overall, I really loved this book. As usual, it's very well thought out and very clear instructions. As well, it's full of beautiful and inspiring toys. As with the first book, I find myself inspired to learn more about the incredible women included. And I'd recommend this title for experienced amigurumi makers or intermediate crocheters who are looking for a book full of projects that make beautiful, unique gifts and inspirational toys that can help to educate young children and adults alike. If you're interested in purchasing a copy of this book, I do have it linked in the description box below, and I do hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like button and please consider subscribing to this channel. Now, if you are interested in winning a copy of this book for yourself, as I said at the beginning of this video, I am giving away a copy of this book to one lucky winner. To enter the giveaway and find the full giveaway details, you can head on over to my blog, theloopylamb.com, and I've linked to the post in the description box below where you'll check out the written version of this review, and at the bottom of the page, you'll find the giveaway rules and giveaway entry form. This giveaway is open to worldwide participants, except where void or prohibited by law, and it ends Friday, July 16th, 2023. If you have any questions or comments about the book, I would love to hear from you. Please leave them in the comment section below. And if you like free crochet patterns, and I know you do, please check out my blog, theloopylamb.com, where I have over 100 free crochet patterns, many of which have step-by-step video tutorials to support you as well. So thank you so much for watching, friends. Happy hooking, and I will see you next time.